We'll now go to yet another accident. I believe Charles Rourke and our own Jonathan Herring working on this one. An accident that took place on Commonwealth Boulevard near the intersection with Walmart and Virginia Avenue earlier today. This one a relatively minor accident, but still a vehicular accident nonetheless, involving two vehicles. This a late model Suzuki four-door sedan and a Ford Windstar, I believe, minivan there involved in this accident. Looks like a fender bender, you might say. Unaware of injuries in this case, not likely anything severe. Relatively low-speed accident, but again, we should mention this is probably the, well, no doubt about it, the busiest intersection in Martinsville and Henry County there, where Virginia Avenue, Memorial Boulevard, and Commonwealth Boulevard all come together at the Walmart Supercenter. And this is just as you get to that intersection, as you're approaching it, going downhill. So accidents are quite common here, with people trying to gain access to that main thoroughfare and get to that intersection. Not at all uncommon to see these accidents. Thankfully, in this case, no severe injuries to report. We also can tell you that the hospital, Martinsville Hospital, is virtually full at this point, at least in the emergency room anyway. They're having difficulty treating all of the patients that they're receiving right now because of the high volume of patients coming in. We have Bob Sharp on the line with us now to give us an update about that. Bob, are you with us?
Yes, sir.
And Bob, basically what's going on here is the staff and the equipment at the hospital is reaching its limits of capacity right now, with all of this breaking news happening in such a short period of time and all these many injured people coming in for treatment.
That's what I suspect. They called it a CT scan diversion. And that may be a code, but I suspect any injuries, car accident victims, things of that they're going to need that equipment. They're definitely, what you would say, overwhelmed. It was full at 12 o'clock, and that's before really all these accidents started. So you can imagine. And not only that, but other patients with strokes, seizures, and heart attack situations have been coming in pretty steady all day.
Bob, I don't know if this is setting records today or not, but certainly this is the most breaking news events, particularly vehicular accidents, that I can recall happening in a 2 to 3 hour span anytime in our history. What's your input on this?
Well, we're coming out of a new moon, and that kind of favors the full moon. We see a lot of activity. You really can't say anything for the accidents other than just people are not paying attention. It's just kind of a freak and fluke type thing. We do see it from time to time, but you're right, it is rare.
Now tell us right now, let's say that you need emergency care and you live in Martinsville and Henry County. Obviously Memorial Hospital would be your first choice, but in this case it probably shouldn't be, because you're likely going to get turned away anyhow, or at the very least you're going to have to wait for many hours for treatment in the emergency room right now. What should you do if you need help right now?
Well, if it's an emergency, like we just heard a call a few minutes ago, a lady was pregnant and was getting ready to deliver. I don't know how they'll handle that, but she did the right thing. Call 911 and let the rescue squad deal with it. They'll know where to take you and what to do. Plus, you've got trained staff, and if it's a real emergency, if you've got a life-threatening situation, they have paramedics and folks of that nature that can actually treat you right there on the scene while they're transporting you to the hospital. There's no telling the lives that they save by their drugs and the care that they give them prior to ever getting to an emergency room.
And that's a good point to make there. Certainly, if you have something relatively minor and it's not too much of a burden for you to go, let's say, to Moorhead if you live in the Ridgeway area, or maybe if you live in the Bassett community, if you want to go to maybe up toward Rocky Mount. But if you've got something serious like a heart attack or a serious injury, then you really should go on ahead and contact 911. You certainly don't want to try to make it all the way to Roanoke, Greensboro, Winston-Salem on your own, because you're not going to receive treatment while you're doing that. You may get caught in a traffic jam and things could get a whole lot worse. So that's what those 911 services are for.
Absolutely.
Bob, we certainly appreciate your updates on this ongoing series of breaking news incidents, and also on the situation going on at the hospital. Keep us posted with any additional updates.
I certainly will.
All right, folks. Bob Sharp working hard there this afternoon as well. And our own Charles Wells is joining us again from the city of Danville, talking about the wreck that took place earlier today on Southampton Avenue in the city of Danville. Charles, what can you tell us?
Well, this happened about 1:30, Scott, this afternoon on the intersection of Chatelain Avenue and Southampton Avenue. It involved two vehicles, a white car and a Ford SUV, and just looked like a case of possibly that the SUV could have failed to yield the right-of-way in the intersection. It could have possibly caused this. The driver in the white car was shaken up but okay, but someone occupying the green Ford SUV, he was carried to the Danville Regional Medical Center for observation, from what the lifesaver crew representative told me. And
thankfully, in this case, we can say not too severe injuries in this case, not like some that we've seen recently, but just an amazing amount of accidents here over the last few days, and especially this afternoon.
Yes, sir. And there was there's been a couple more around here in the Danville area. One was a pretty bad one that sent two ladies to the hospital. Well, I didn't get to cover that because I was out on another assignment. But that was involving a 2005 Pontiac minivan that had went up right into the building of the McKinley Chiropractic Clinic.
We certainly appreciate all of your efforts, Charles, and thank you for your updates and also bringing us that excellent video from the scene as well.
Oh, you're very welcome, Scott.
All right, folks, our own Charles Wells from Danville there, working hard, as is all of the Star News staff today. We're now going to give you a look at your weather forecast and see what to expect. Maybe we'll have some brighter days coming just around the corner. Stay with us.